Hey everybody, give me just a second here while I get the video URL onto the proper platforms. All right, there's one of them. And then let me just get it up on YouTube, and then we'll get started here. And then the second channel. I don't even know if anyone's in here yet, or if anyone is going to be in here, but I want to push this out to as many people as I can. So if there is somebody here, welcome. I will be back to check in just a minute. All right. Yep, I see some people in there. Hey guys. I am Steve. Are we still doing that? I'm going to check the stream on my end to make sure the audio is good, as always. That should be my catchphrase. Is the audio good? I gotta say that every time. Oh, I should also say that right now, I'm not actually playing this game. I should have done this for live streams way sooner. I have just this gameplay loop playing in the background. That's not actually me playing live. So I can actually have gameplay for you guys to watch, but I can also focus on the chat, which is so much better. Chat, which is so much better. Ooh, yeah, I can hear myself. Yeah, that sounds pretty good. Okay. What's not good is when my phone is not charging. There we go. This gameplay is some of the modded Half-Life 2 that I was doing in the last couple Lavender videos. As you can see, I have way too many mods turned on. This part is something that I didn't get to show off in my last couple of videos. Ravenholm is terrifying with the fast zombie mod, and that's what I'm showing right now. But it's fun to watch. JXOFC, $2, thank you for the super chat. Is this bad news or just important? It's good news, but it's gonna seem like bad news. And I don't want anybody to panic. It's not like the worst news ever, but it is something that I really needed to talk about as soon as possible. We got 47 in here. That's pretty good. Not that the view count actually matters, but this is a live stream where I do want enough people to see it. Yeah. Okay, well, I should probably just bite the bullet and just tell you guys. I didn't do any pre-planning for this. This is just one of those streams where it was something that I felt like I needed to say. And I'll repeat this a few times throughout the stream in case more people join and we get new people in here. But one question first. Mr. Rainbow, what mic do you use? It's a Blue Yeti Nano. It's a really cheap microphone. It's only like $100. I would highly recommend it. It's a microphone where it is by no means top of the line, but I've practiced with it and practiced speaking into it. When it comes to microphones, it's more important to learn how to talk into a microphone than having a really expensive one. Most microphones you can sound professional level on, even if it's a $20 microphone, if you know how to talk into it. And I don't even use any complicated filters, really. This is just me speaking. But yeah, I've used it for somebody, Devarius. Oh my god, he's gay. This is the gay stream, guys. This is me coming out to you. No. If I am though, I'll let you guys know. But no. Right now I don't think so. Here's the news that I needed to tell you guys. And it probably will sting at first, but I'm going to need to explain it. Basically, I've had an important conversation with my parents, my friends, the people around me, and some people that I've just met in my life, some new people. And the short answer to this is the channel is going to be a lot different moving forward. And it's really hard to say. What I mean is, I don't know for sure what's going to happen to the channel. I'm not being doxxed again. That's not what's happening. I knew that it would sound like that as soon as I started saying this, but that's not what's happening. It's for certain reasons that I can't really get into. In the next few days, a couple things might happen. One of the things that might happen is me privating everything. And I know that's really not what you wanted to hear, but that's just the reality of it. I've had what you could call an intervention with myself and a lot of people around me. And over the last few months, really ever since the docs, so like a year ago, we're coming up on a year anniversary of the docs. Ever since then, especially, YouTube has been going down the shitter. Let's just be real. I mean, everybody's felt it. Not even talking about views, because views do matter to some extent to me. I'm not going to lie and say that they don't have any effect on the way that I view things. That's just what YouTube is. That's the mindset that YouTube forces you to get into. And actually, recently, we've been kind of on the upswing. So this is not in any way related to like, oh no, views are down, I'm done. No, I still have some passion and some things I wanted to talk about. The last few videos actually have been really fun. We did one on threesomes, we did one on curved dicks, and those were really fun to make. But, I mean, let's be real. My channel, it had its time. It had its 15 minutes of fame, and those days are probably over. That was the peak of my channel. The South Park porn addiction videos and the dick size videos, and those were some of the most fun I've ever had in my life. But ever since the docs, the number one thing that's been consistent is the less I've been online, the healthier my life has become. And in some ways, being online and talking about my sex problems has helped me to really open up about things and be more comfortable, which is great. But in other ways, I'm just going to be straight up. I haven't been reading comments for like a month. I haven't, because after Charlie Kirk, the internet has become almost unusable with AI and politics and just everyday feeling. I mean, the docs isn't even happening, but being online feels worse right now than when I was being doxxed. That's how bad it is. And I don't want to be one of those people like, oh, boo-hoo, and, politics, whatever. But I'm so done with politics, man. And there's so much AI in the platform right now. It is so bad. And the number one thing that's gotten me to feel better is just not being online. And we're in a situation now, I'm in a situation where truly some days I want to make a video, but then I just never do it because I just can't be bothered. Just being online, I have to be online in some sense to make a video, to get resources, to get like feedback, B-roll. I have to find something to talk about, something that's kind of topical, and I just can't take it anymore. I feel like more than ever, when I made that video, like, YouTube is shadow banning everyone, the stress came from the dip in views. I'm still stressed, but that stress is coming from the fact that it just feels like people are less online because they just can't take it. And I am one of those people. I'm still trying to be somewhat engaged in the news because it's important. I'm worried about the current state of things. I think they're really desensitizing us to bad news. And most people in my life haven't watched the news in a year, at least since Charlie Kirk. I think a lot of people just stopped watching the news because it was too much to handle. And when you have a society where nobody is watching the news, that's when people can get away with things on both sides. When you instill that apathy in people, that's horrible. And it's way worse. But that's just, it's something that I have to do. I have to stop watching the news, and I have to make sure that it's like a diet, right? I have to make sure that what's going into my system is healthy for me. I can still handle some bad news, but I can't be online the same way I was before. Some of you might know that I'm starting a new job soon. I don't want to go into detail on it because, I learned that the first time not to be as public online, especially when you're talking about stuff like this and people are crazy. But it's a job that I can't really have a social life on the internet anymore. I can't for at least 6 months. So all of this is to say that yes, both channels are pretty much going to go dark, probably. I might just take the videos down and leave the channel up. I'm probably going to private the videos, maybe bring them back when I feel healthier. And that might be a couple months from now, that might be a year from now. I mean, we're past the point of just me saying, I'm going to make a video whenever I feel like it. Now it's like an addiction that I know that I have, and the channels being there at all is too alluring. Making a video has become just as painful as it was fun a few years ago. And that's not your guys' fault. It's just totally on the internet and me disregarding some things in my life that I've been really disregarding for a long time. I'm 23, I've never had a girlfriend. And I know that a lot of people are a lot older than me and are going through the same issues. Part of the stuff on this channel was to help people, including myself, get a girlfriend and start dating and start having healthy relationships again. But discovering myself sexually is only half the battle. It's more important to actually put myself out there and get off of the internet and get on an actual freaking date before I can actually have a healthy sex life. How can I have a sex life if I'm not even dating? You know what I mean? So there's another side to this too. I am not a licensed intimacy coach. I'm not a sex therapist or a sex educator. I think my videos still have value, but I feel like some videos of mine do more harm than good when I'm talking out of my ass, quite frankly. And I've had a lot of good philosophical discussions on here and I've helped some people work through their stuff. I know I have, and I couldn't be more happier for that. But if I'm going to continue on this path and trying to get people to open up about their sexuality, especially men, is something I want to continue doing, then I need to do it in a more official way. I want to go back to school and I want to like actually become a licensed intimacy coach. That's something I would love to do. And I feel like it's just going to help more people than what I'm doing now. I saw a comment in the chat saying, but why are you privating videos? And the reason I'm doing that is because I talk to my parents, I talk to everybody, and they've always been supportive of me and very hands-off, but they are also honest with me, and it's something that I value them being completely honest and saying, you know, if it's not making you happy anymore, then maybe it's just time to start a new chapter in your life. There's nothing wrong with starting over, you know? I can always... It's not a waste. My time doing this hasn't been a waste. I've built an audience. I've learned, how to use the internet, how to create content. All that stuff has been really cool. But if this is something that YouTube is just not a viable path for happiness anymore, then maybe it's time to just say, I need to kind of cut it off completely. If it were up to me and I didn't have to private my videos, then I would leave them up and just say, here they are out there forever. But as long as the videos are up and people become more radicalized on the internet, I'm scared for me and my family's safety and health. I mean, the docs was bad on me, sure, but my family had no idea what was going on, and I had to explain to them that, I didn't know if somebody was going to show up in my house with a gun. You don't know. And I don't want to put my family through that again. And for a long time after the docs, I was convincing myself like, no, it's fine. It's all talk and whatever. And it probably was all talk, but the number of radical people online hasn't exactly gone down. And the stress of that, I just can't, if that were to happen again, I can't handle that. So I didn't want to say that directly because it's not a positive message, but that's part of the truth, is sometimes I really don't feel safe with this stuff being up, even though I think it's important. I think the era of being able to make these kinds of videos that are trying to have a positive effect but still have to talk about political issues like men's and women's division and their specific issues, the time that you were able to just talk about it on the internet without incurring the wrath of people on 4chan almost feels like it's over. Like, not to be pessimistic about it, but I don't see a way for me to continuing to have this stuff online is not safe. Don't get me wrong. I still believe in this as a cause, and I still want to push for it in society because I think it would be so much better for men, especially, to be better at sex. I mean, that would solve a lot of issues. And just men learning how to open up about their emotions. Not in like a, toxic masculinity way. Masculinity itself isn't toxic. I've learned that. Especially when I got out of college and people were kind of convincing me of that. But then I got more nuanced and I'm like, no, you know what? I'm not a bad person just for being masculine. But it's something that's hard to translate on the internet when it's all so radicalized. So this isn't me saying goodbye forever. It's just me saying, you know what? This was a really good time and a really good experiment, but for more than one reason, maybe it's time we do this a different way. So you still might see me in the future, in a couple months from now, when maybe I am back in school and training to become an intimacy coach. And I'm still talking about what I like talking about, but maybe I'm writing a book about it. Maybe I'm actually talking to people in real life and helping them through their trauma. That's just a much better version of what we're doing here. I really want to do this book. Like, actually, let me kind of show you some of the character designs I came up with for this book, because they're some of my best character designs since Candles. Let me read this comment, though, before I do that. Lovely Dread, I think you should keep your channels, private the vids, and start a new chapter. That's honestly what I want to do. The channels are still going to be here. I'm not deleting them, because that would be kind of dumb. But I'm probably going to private all the videos. Even the ones that aren't directly related to sex education. That's the channel that got doxxed in the first place, and Candles is the name people know. So, it still feels risky. You know what I mean? But my passion is still there, but my motivation for specifically making videos is much lower than it used to be. Which I know is depressing, but I'm going to be honest with you guys about how I feel, and that's the truth. And that's not a fault of you guys, it's just a fault of me not having a good balance of making videos and not reading certain comments and learning to being able to read others. Oh, I forgot OBS, you can only add PNGs. Hang on. Let me convert some of these character designs to PNGs, and then I can really show you what I'm doing here. I love character design. I think it's one of my many strengths. Well, not many. That sounds like not humble. I didn't mean to say that. That's one of my strengths. And I've come up with a few that I really, really love. And I just want to kind of show them off. Because it's something that you might see when I release like a book. These characters. And I want to be completely honest with you about them. I don't want to keep it close to the chest like I have earlier. Keep in mind, this file that I'm about to show you is recycled from a different NSFW drawing that I did. And it's really good for creating a character, but there's some elements to it that look almost slightly suggestive, but don't worry about it. It's just, I want to show you this character design. I created this character design. I've always wanted to incorporate a deer into my character design for a while, and I couldn't really figure out how to do it correctly. And this was one that I came up with a few days ago that I think is actually really strong. Like, look, this is a character that I came up with. Again, ignore the titty in this character design. But this is something that I came up with, and I really, really like it. And I am going to continue to work on these character designs in the background. And when I eventually come out with like a book or another project, you're going to see an entire roster of Candles characters. And this one is really strong, I feel. Yeah. And actually, it's a book that is going to be very like a little more nuanced than my videos. This character design that I've come up with right here, this deer, is a character that I've been working on for like a month now, on her backstory and her character and what she represents in the whole spectrum of sexuality. This is a character that's actually disabled. And because there's a side of sex that I haven't tapped into, like discussions about it, of what if, sex when you're like in a wheelchair or somebody who has a disability. And it's a video that I haven't done, but I'm going to tackle it in this book. So that's kind of a glimpse of some of the stuff that I want to do in the future. Stuff that's a bit more substance, and it's saying stuff that's more important and it's nuanced. So that's just one example. And that's one character design that I think really works. And I'll still tweak them, but yeah. So that was pretty much all I wanted to say in this stream. Again, very loose stream. This wasn't a stream that I knew was going to last for very long. I'll still be on here for a little bit longer, just kind of looking at chat and maybe answering any questions you might have, but I've decided that I have to do this to start the next chapter of my life, and I know it's painful and I know it sucks, and I know there's a lot of people here that are going to be really upset, which is humbling in a way, but also I'm sucking at this gameplay. I had to actually quit Ravenholm because I couldn't get past this last bit, but yeah. it's just a new chapter in my life. I want to actually start dating, like, for real. It's going to be tough, but I want to actually do it. And I mean, I can't have a healthy sex life if I'm just talking about it on the internet and not actually trying to date. You know what I mean? I don't know when I'm going to be going back to school, Rufus. It's probably a long way away still, just because I need to save up money to actually go back. It's way too expensive, and I'm not going to go into debt. Oh, great question. Katsunumi, how will this affect Patreon? I'm not entirely sure yet. I've debated either turning off the memberships and allowing people to... You can continue to donate if you want, but I'm not going to be interacting. I'm not going to be making videos for a while, because part of this is I can't have things be public, really. And I can't be adding to my online persona at all. I know there's people out there who would still want to donate just to be nice and be, and I really, really appreciate that. But I feel bad that I can't give you guys anything. But I've learned in the past that taking away Patreon kind of just isn't good and kind of does more harm than good. I don't want to feel like I'm trying to take advantage of your guys' money. But, so probably Patreon, I will maybe turn off new memberships, but I'll still have the option open if you want to continue talking to people on there, or maybe just hanging out with the people on there. But I won't be active on there. And I'll leave this. I'm not gonna. If I private all my videos, I'm not gonna do it for at least 24 hours, because I want enough people to watch this stream and know that it's coming, or maybe download videos that they want to keep. And, maybe one day I'll come back. And if I come back, it's highly likely that the videos will come back as well. So they might not be gone forever. But, maybe in a year, YouTube will kind of heal itself and go in the right direction. But maybe it won't. I love the community that we've built, but I'm going to take the time. In the background, I'm still going to be getting better at drawing. I'm going to be getting better at characters and building out this Candles universe properly. But I want to do it right. And when I come back, when I start doing these things publicly again, I'll probably do some of it on YouTube, but a lot of it will be me actually trying to help people in real life and having a more coherent identity. And hopefully at that point, I'll be dating somebody. So not only can I talk about sex, but I can also speak from actual experience. Because yeah, I'm talking about sex, but I've never had it. And that's always kind of bugged me. So I want to actually give you guys better information. I did a circumcision video a month ago, and I ended up taking it down because that was a video that clearly I did not know what I was talking about, because a lot of people corrected me on stuff in the comments. I researched the video a lot, but also there was a lot of stuff that I just didn't understand because I'm not circumcised. And that was a video where I was like, maybe I just don't know what I'm talking about sometimes. So, Candles is not ending. Not at all. Candles will be back in some form, I promise you that. But it won't look the same, and it won't be for a while. In some ways, I need to get off my internet addiction, and I would even encourage you guys to try that as well. Not because I think you guys are addicted to the internet or whatever. I don't want to talk bad about my community, but there is something to be said about genuinely just biting the bullet and getting off the internet. A lot of content like this, content that I make, is meant to help people get into a better place mentally, but it's not meant to be a long-term solution to some of these problems. The only true solution I can see moving forward is honestly just getting off the internet. And that's why I'm going to follow my own advice, and I'm going to do that because the internet it makes the crazy people crazier. And the only way for the internet to really actually improve your life, the way I see it, is to just stop using it at this point. You know? So, I know that sucks. That is not the update you guys wanted to hear, but it's just the truth. And I'm always going to be honest with you guys. There's a lot of things happening right now, and it's frustrating, but you know, this isn't easy. And if I wouldn't be doing this if there was a shred of doubt in my mind that it was the best way forward. I've been getting off the internet more and more lately, and it's only gotten better and better for my life. And this was just the final phase of that. Devarius, you've already given more than enough to your community. What truly matters is your well-being. We'll always be here, and we thank you for everything. And thank you for that super chat, for the $5, because it's hard saying goodbye, at least for I'm starting to get choked up now, honestly. It's hard to say goodbye, but this was never meant to be a permanent thing. It's really helped me break out of my shell. And, you know, that comment hit me harder than I thought it would. I'm starting to tear up. Yeah. Yeah. I can't even say your name. Yay. I'm not deleting my content, but I'm privating it for at least 6 months, I would say at the minimum. Part of my new job is not having an online presence. Not because they require it. I'm still allowed to, but having this job, and it's a job where I need to set a good example for people that I'm working with, and having this stuff online is just not a good look. I don't think that it'll actually become a problem if I leave it up, but part of it is also for me wanting to distance myself from my internet addiction. And as long as my videos are up, I'm always going to be algorithm brained. And YouTube's always going to be clawing at me saying, make the next video, make money. And it's just not healthy anymore. Right now, the internet to me is almost completely unusable. And I wouldn't have said that 6 months ago. But it is now. In 5 years' time, I see the internet as something that businesses use to communicate remote jobs, and AI companies desperately try to market and advertise to just other bots. I mean, that's what it feels like it's going to be. Most people that I know in real life haven't been on the internet, and that's very intentional. No. Blazing, it can't be any online presence. And Rumble is way worse than YouTube. Honestly, it is. It is way worse than YouTube. Rumble and Kick, I'd rather go completely scorched earth than do Rumble or Kick. You know, and I wanted to let you guys know. I did want to let you guys know. This live stream is going to be privated. Everything is, but I'm leaving it up for 24 hours at the very least. And on Maximus Harbor, I think the AI bubble is going to pop. I honestly do. And, you know, anybody, this is also important to say, any online personality, every day that goes by is at an increased risk of somebody taking their voice and, you know, making them say things that they never said. And that includes me. Being an online personality in general, after 2025, is so risky, it's kind of not even worth it. It's not even worth it, because the danger outside of just doxing, before they figure this shit out and figure out how to get AI under control and actually make it useful for the human race, it's too dangerous to be a celebrity. Honestly, outside of just everything else I've said, is So here's the thing. I apologize to the people, especially the people who just found my content and were getting into it and were being helped by it. I really apologize for this move. But if anyone out there wants to make a channel that's exactly like mine and do exactly what I did, please go ahead. There is room for it on YouTube. There is definitely a market for it. I don't care if you copy exactly what I did. I'd rather you not use candles. That's kind of my character. But if you want to do it in the exact same way, please go for it. Because I think this kind of content is important on YouTube, but I'm not in the position right now where I can continue to do it. At least not for a while. So there's a high likelihood that I'll be back and everything will be up again in like 6 months. Maybe I'll continue with this job. Maybe I will just do it for this 6 months and then I'll be done. It's like a 6-month thing, this I think, for this first time. But Rufus, I'd rather you not archive my videos just because part of the problem is having my name and voice out there. I mean, it won't be as bad as me actively putting into it, I guess. I guess I don't have a problem with archiving. I guess I don't have a problem with it. It's fine. It's probably fine for this stuff to be up, but I can't continue to make more of it. I don't know. The world's changing so fast and it's so difficult. I can't stop people from archiving it, I guess. So, you have my permission if you really want to do it. But I'm not going to archive it myself. And a lot of people might say like, well, why can't you just archive or why can't you just private the sex ed videos and keep other stuff public? It's a job where I have to pretty much keep everything private. I don't want to get into details because, again, I've learned my lesson about putting too much information and context out there online, but as even just being an online personality is a danger in itself, no matter what I'm talking about. So, officially, I don't really care if you archive or whatever, but I'm not going to be archiving myself. That's my official stance. If I see somebody making an archive, well, I won't because I won't even be online. I'm not even going to pay attention for the next 6 months at least, so yeah. Let me just read through these comments before I wrap this up. Sorry, Risra, you're going to have to watch the archive of this video, but watch it soon. Because it's going to be gone after a while. Yeah, Dark Oracle, privatizing, not deleting. It might come back later, it might not. That's true. So this is not a Candles is going scorched earth and deleting everything forever. This is not that announcement. But it is saying, for the next 6 months at least, I'm not going to be posting and you're not going to be able to have an archive of videos. For privacy reasons, unsuredness about the internet and where it's headed, and trying to downsize my life to a degree where I'm not even going to be using my phone for an alarm. Because it's just, my phone is an addiction. And I want to completely sober up from the internet in my phone. And I think I'm not going to be the only one over the next couple weeks and months. Because we're at a point now where we can't ignore it anymore. We recognize that, most of us recognize that our phone is kind of the problem in the internet. And I want to actually do something about it. And not just, I want to stop saying like, oh, boo-hoo, my phone. I want to actually put my money where my mouth is and actually do it. Because I'm tired, boss. I mean, honestly, the meme. I am tired, boss. That's what I feel right now. I'm one of those people that sometimes feels like everything is performative. Not for like matcha sipping, not that kind of performative. but performative in the way where I feel like putting on a personality online is very taxing, and maybe I don't want to do that for a while. I need to be able to, for me to be able to move on and actually figure out what I want to do in life is going to require a complete sobering from the internet and going cold turkey. Honestly, it is. And I've had fun, but recently it's been less fun. Honestly, it has been. Plus, I wanted to take some time to actually get better at drawing and freaking figure out how to draw hands. Because I've been fighting with hands for a long time. Yeah. If anybody has been going through this feeling relating to what I'm feeling right now, I would genuinely say it's just the internet. It's just getting off the internet. It sucks. It absolutely sucks. But I don't think I'm going to be able to fix my life until I get off the internet. I'm going to take the time that I was spending online and use it to work out, use it to discover my newly found passion for cooking, which is something that I've been having a lot of fun with. I want to do that. I want to actually start dating people. I want to live life for real. And I hate to say it, but this kind of being on the internet, being a YouTuber it helped for a long time, but I don't think I can be a healthy person and be a full-blown YouTuber anymore. The Nordic Doctor says, would a private archive and maybe some posting as another persona not linked to you at all, relaying of some kind of the main points of the videos on the web be fine? Unfortunately, I can't do that at all. There is a universe where maybe if I tried to remain completely anonymous, I could still do this. But again, it's not just for my job. That's only half of the story. The other half is knowing that the internet has become very unhealthy for me in any capacity. And I need to completely sober up. That's why I'm doing this mainly. That's mainly why I'm privating. Because even if I left the videos up, I'm confident that it wouldn't be a problem. They're not explicitly requiring me to not have an online life, but it's something where because I'm trying to help people in a more in real life way, having these videos on talking about food and Ari and all this stuff that I believe in, but I'm not licensed to talk about, it might just cause a situation where it blows up in my face, and I don't want that to happen. So, yeah. Thank you, Meltdown Lou. And when I come back to being a YouTuber, not if, but when, because I think eventually I might do it in some capacity in the future, I will have a much healthier relationship with it. I will be completely independent of the algorithm, and I'll be able to just do what I want, how I want to do it. Like, for instance, this live stream where you can watch me play a game, but I'm not actually playing it, and I'm just focusing on the chat and focusing on talking, is so much better. If I come back, I'm going to be sure to do that instead of live gameplay, because it's so much easier. God. But until the internet gets better and heals itself, and if I still want to do sex ed. Let me make that point. I want to make that point very staunchly. I want to make sure people know that. I am still passionate about healthy sex education. I know there's something here. I know there's a way forward for that. But I want to actually help people in real life too. I have this newly found dream of I want to become an actual intimacy coach in my hometown, and I want to do this for real. I think there's always going to be an online content component of that, helping people, but if I want to actually do this and make money on my calling in life, which is this, then I need to do it in a way where I'm actually having like a salary and a guaranteed income. I hate to say that, but YouTube is too stressful because it's so up and down. I want to become an intimacy coach. And if that involves having intimacy experience myself, so I know what I'm talking about, and going back to school and becoming certified and becoming part of an organization that can actually help people in real life, then that's probably going to be part of it. I would love in 5 years, my dream would be to be me living a very simple, low budget life. I have a girlfriend. Maybe we want to have kids. Maybe we don't. We're very sexually healthy and sexually interesting. And my actual official salary job is being an intimacy coach, specifically helping a lot of straight men overcome things like toxic masculinity, but also learning that masculinity itself isn't inherently toxic. That is a fantasy for me. I would love that kind of life, and I'm mature enough to know that that's what I want to do. You know? I've been lucky enough to continue to be a virgin and continue to have a very positive view of relationships, instead of getting my heart broken and wanting all women to die, like a lot of people do, which is just so fucked up, but that's the way it is. Yeah, that kind of life that I just described to you is my dream, and I want that to be a reality. And I'm tired of doing it in a way that is not... I'm tired of moving in a direction that might get me there, but I need to focus on having a healthy relationship with somebody, actually becoming a licensed intimacy coach so I know what I'm talking about and I know I can get these things right. Getting better at drawing, having these characters that are so fun and freeing. And I want to do this right. So, yeah, Lil Lakin Heath. Yeah, I want to help people like you, whether that be online through videos that are better, higher quality, and more thought out with more avatars and more candles stuff that's really fun. And also in a way that's actually in real life if I have a girlfriend or boyfriend and we're very healthy sexually. That way too, I want to help people in every aspect of my life, and I want to do it in a way that's still healthy for me, and I still have the motivation to do. So anyway, this is all to say, this is not the end of candles, not by a long shot, but you're probably not going to see me online for a long time, for at least 6 months, at the very least. In that time, I'm going to be getting better at drawing, actually going back to school and learning about intimacy and psychology. I want to become like Dr. K, who has genuinely helped me get better. I want to do this, but I want to hold myself to a higher standard than just talking out of my ass, honestly. So candles will be back. Candles will return at some point, but it'll be in a way that is much better and much healthier for me. So, yeah. Last name, first name. I said or boyfriend because, I'll be honest, I went so far as to tell my parents for the first time a few days ago, maybe I am gay. I don't think I am right now, but would that be the worst thing in the world? And just saying that out loud was a big step for me, and they were pretty supportive. I genuinely believe that I am not gay. I draw way too much straight porn to be gay. But I'm not going to lie. Maybe one day, I've never been with a guy, so I don't know. Maybe one day I'd find out that I am. Maybe when I come back, I'll be trans or bisexual or whatever the hell. I'm past the point of, not being open to it. So I hope that I was able to help some people up to this point in the 5 years that I've been doing YouTube. I feel like I've helped some people. I've worked through some stuff on my own. But frankly, I'm 23 and it's time I start really taking care of my body, eating healthier, getting off the internet, waking up, having a good sleep schedule, and actually trying to date and being not afraid to make mistakes. Not being afraid to date. Finally. It's going to be tough, but that's what it is. That's what the world is. YouTube has been freeing, but also limiting in a sense that I feel like I have to play this character and I don't have time for a girlfriend. And it's hard. You see a lot. If you're a straight guy or even just a young person in general online right now, you're constantly berated with videos, male loneliness epidemic, and and on and on and on. And no matter how much you ignore it, it's constantly in your face, man. YouTube, especially now with AI stuff, it's just constantly trying to get you to be an incel. And I'm just lucky enough to come out of it not an incel. You know what I mean? I can't believe I was online for 5 years and I didn't start absolutely hating people. Not to be, that doesn't sound very humble of me, but I'm so lucky. I mean, I'm lucky that I got out of college without being so in debt as well. I don't want to take that for granted. Because I'll be honest, with the gay stuff too, I see those comments in the chat to the side, like, maybe he's gay. Honestly, I don't think I am, but I've talked about dicks so many times that sometimes I wonder, like, should I be more uncomfortable talking about other guys' dicks? Why do I like drawing them so much? Maybe there's something there. I don't know. Who knows? So, yeah. We've been going about an hour, so I'm going to start wrapping this up. I think this is the highest viewership we've had on any stream for a while, which is really cool to see. Yeah, Nork013. When I come back, I will make videos on that probably, but I'll be more informed about talking about it, and I'll be actually licensed to give advice on it. Citrus, that's a good point. The fact that YouTube is the only long-form content platform is insane. Disney Plus just announced they're going to start adding AI-generated user content. What is happening to the world? I can't stand all of these mega corpos, which makes me sound like a radical person, but I genuinely can't stand it. And honestly, Salka Pekka says, you're probably bi. Honestly, I probably am. I'm like one step away from just saying, you know what? I'm bi. Like, whatever. Uh-oh. Are we still streaming? I don't know. I think the stream just pooped itself. Well, maybe that was a good time to start wrapping this up anyway. Yeah, YouTube's pooping itself. Well, ain't that just the... Oh, sorry. That was probably loud. Just dropped my phone. Ain't that the best way to just end this stream? Honestly. I start talking about how YouTube has gone down the shitter and my stream just bugged and it's not letting me view chat anymore. That's actually hilarious. I do want to see the chat though, so give me a few minutes here while I try to get chat back. I'm going to have to do a whole rigmarole while I download the YouTube apps, because you can only look at chat through the YouTube app, which is so BS, honestly. This is actually hilarious. I did this whole stream where I'm talking about YouTube is going down the shitter, guys. It's not fun anymore. And of course, YouTube just completely poops itself. Like it always is. Oh my God. You know what though? This ended this video on the funniest way possible. Yep. Okay, good. We're still live and there's still people in the chat. So, yeah. Thank you guys for being here on this 5-year journey. Lavender Candles, the main channel, got to almost 100,000 subscribers, which is insane. Lavender Coretta, almost at 25,000, I think. I haven't looked at the exact numbers recently, but I think it's about that, which is so cool. And the fact that I was able to remain a one-man show this whole time, not that there's anything wrong with having a production team, but just knowing the fact that I was able to build this just on sheer goodwill and interacting with the community and always trying to do things the right way is really humbling for me. And I'm really glad I was able to do it. I got better at digital media, drawing. I know now the knowledge of how to gain an audience and be genuine and have a nice relationship with your audience is something that will never not be valuable. You know what I mean? That's something that no matter how much I downsize from the internet, I still have that knowledge, which is awesome. And you guys have been an awesome community so far. This isn't the end of everything. In 6 months, I might be completely just back in business. Who knows? I might be, I might not be. I plan on coming back eventually or having candles be in the world at some point. But probably the 99% chance what's going to happen is in 6 months, I'll release a video saying, hey guys, my book is out now, pre-order now. And then that'll be what's on my channel. The channel would just be a hub of what's up with candles, what's the next big project to come out. Maybe not YouTube videos, but I might have announcement videos like, hey, my book is out now. Maybe I'll do live streams like this where I'm more informed of how to actually be a psychologist. Maybe I'll actually be able to give you guys advice in real time, like on a live stream, kind of like Dr. K does. That's probably the future. In 6 months, you can probably expect that that's what's going to be happening. So, yep, for now, let me read the chat, make sure there's no more thing that I missed. You guys have been awesome. So, yep, in 24 hours, the videos are going to be privated for probably a long time. So, my name is Candles. I love you all.